Hi everyone and welcome to another Speak Out. We've just had the great Thursday night football game, really entertaining game, and I wanted to talk a bit about Carson Wentz in that game because he's been really impressive this year. Now, for those of you who don't know, my pick for MVP so far is Alex Smith. Now, I think he's done a number of impressive things this year and is having almost the perfect season. In fact, you could argue he is having the perfect season. One thing he's done really well is his throws under pressure. And also his throws on third down, they're always clutch deep down the field and he's picking up first downs. Now these are two things that I saw Carson Wentz do really well, not just on Thursday night, but he's done throughout this season. His throws under pressure have been key, always getting it to the receiver, and going into the game last night, which obviously he'll have extended now with last night's game, he was leading all passers on third down. Now this is a very impressive attribute to have. And he's looking really good for the future. Having said that, one thing I have noticed with Carson Wentz that could do with a bit of work is perhaps his reading of the defence sometimes. For example, the first play of the game on Thursday Night Football, you saw that they were clearly blitzing. They stacked the box, they only had one man back, and he still tried to run the ball straight up the gut where there were three linebackers waiting. Now you can say this is a feeling out process at the beginning of the game, but then later in the game we saw him get sacked a couple of times when he himself had changed the protection. So it does seem like he could do a little bit of work there. Having said that, this season he's made all the throws and is definitely playing at Pro Bowl level. Now, another thing I would say is he's going to develop under Doug Peterson, who's a brilliant coach and in my opinion is up there with Sean McVay as the two top candidates at the moment for Coach of the Year. Now, we know he also formerly coached with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he did a good job there. And so far with the Eagles, he's done a really good job, not just as an offensive-minded coach, but also he's helped out with their defense, which has been really, really solid this year. So I think if we see Carson Wentz continue to develop under him, there is no doubt in my mind that Carson Wentz is going to be a great quarterback for years to come. And like I said before, for these reasons, Alex Smith has been my pick for MVP. In the future, if Carson Wentz can clean up these little bits of reading the defence, there's no reason why he can't be an MVP, and that can happen sooner rather than later. I think this should be really exciting for Eagles fans. They've really found a gem in Carson Wentz. And at the moment, when you compare with Dak Prescott, after the first season, it probably wasn't that favourable for Wentz. However, Prescott and the whole Cowboys offense seem to have slumped a bit in their second year. They like to call it the sophomore slump. Now, you can't judge, it is very early, and it is only the second year, but they haven't seemed to be doing as well. Meanwhile, I really feel like Wentz is a future MVP in this league. He's not quite there yet. He's definitely at Pro Bowl level for the moment, but in years to come, look for him to develop, and he could really be one of the next great quarterbacks in this league. Well, thanks as always for listening, and if you don't already, please follow my main YouTube channel for all the best highlights throughout the NFL and NBA season with in-depth analysis and all the best and worst performances so you can see what's really going on in the sporting world. That's called San Fran Fan AD. I'll post the link below. And also, if you don't already, please follow me on Instagram for all the best and latest updates, news, and again highlights there at San Fran Fan AD, and I'll also post a link to that below. Thank you as always for listening.